for a few seconds or a minute and then it dissolves, disappears. Why? Because of the impurities of the mind, because of the past impression.
Well, the beauty of study and having a teacher is I can actually recognize, you recognize what you've learned and you say, oh, that's how it's happening. But if you told me to explain it, I almost would have tried to explain it, and I wouldn't have been able to, as well as, from having the teaching, you can actually not only experience it, but express it as best you can, which I thought that makes a big difference too, because one could experience that and
you will be able to experience and also the express. Let the time come and you have a wonderful verbal communication and expression. But it takes time because those past impressions returns instantly and it changes the perception, and then I start thinking, what happened? I was there and I'm not there now. I'm there and I'm not there. So that is what the entire journey is. And you referred about Rajoguna. Yes, Rajoguna. Very important point that you mentioned. And I have some thoughts. First thought is that the chapter 5 is a bridge between the action and the meditation. Karma yoga and meditation. First thing to understand this. It means that the mind is purified, ready to receive higher consciousness, or you can say it allows the manifestation of that consciousness, that real self in thought, speech, and action. It also means when the mind is purified, dissolves ego. Or you can say ego instead of, it dissolves ego or the doership. Why? Because the seeker becomes free from attachment and aversion. Delusion. What is that delusion? That I am the doer. So that is one thought, but now very interesting thought has come to my mind. It will help you to go a little deeper. Rajoguna means all actions are done for pleasure or avoiding pain. So now you see, instead, I cannot see the Rajoguna, but I can see that in effect. So Rajoguna means, simply it means all actions. Behind there is a motive, and behind the motive there is a doership, and the doership, behind the doership there is a seeking of pleasure and the pain. And that is where the doership arises, springs, takes birth. So Rajoguna means also seeking and making effort. Now see, I'm going in a different direction, but it will help you to understand. Rajoguna again means seeking and making effort. Making effort, then I have become a doer. Making effort to secure imagined pleasure in the objects of the world. Think in this way. Rajoguna means seeking and making effort, or I can replace making effort. Rajoguna means seeking, by which I become a doer, and that doer is securing imagined pleasure in the world of objects, people, relationship, things. Are you clear? I'm just trying to reform it. Rajoguna means seeking and making effort. So when I make an effort, then I'm a doer. So what this doer is doing, that doer is trying to secure an imagined pleasure in the world of objects. Why I say imagine pleasure? Because happiness is not there in the world. So now I completed the entire 5th chapter. So once I understand this, and then there is an understanding, I instantly become aware of the motivation. Oh, mind triggers. Oh, do this, take a cup of tea and coffee. It's okay. It's okay. It's for survival. Now see, if we do not have a desire or a feeling of imagined happiness. Now, so what about that I have a desire to go to the restroom? Yes, it will not create, it has no problem. It has no problem. Again, I'm trying to format it. So if we do not have a desire or feeling of imagined happiness in the world of objects, people, and relationships, Rajoguna is minimized and it is replaced by Satoguna. And in that state of the Satoguna, I experience what you have experienced and what you have discussed with me and shared. That doership is not there. Oh, there is no doership. The mind is constantly moving towards that knowledge. Oh, there is no doership. This is the body and the mind and the breath and the intellect and the ego. Oh, and suddenly it dissolves. Actions or doership for survival is different. It is one action. Action or doership to get more, have a craving to show more is totally different. So there are two aspects. One is karma. I'm speaking to you. Let me continue to speak. That doership, so-called the doership, is different. Then the doership, which has an element of attachment, aversion, craving, desiring more, because it is not for survival. It is not for survival. It is for the imagined pleasure. Imagined pleasure that I have $1 billion. Imagined pleasure that I'm the smartest guy. Imagined pleasure I have a 50,000 followers. Imagined pleasure. One guy spent 15 minutes while looking at my profile. 15 minutes of video he sent me. And he said, here your website is wrong. You do this, then you create a reel, and then you will get 50 clients every month. Did you ask me that how many clients I want?
Right.
I'm not asking you. No. And then he wrote a very lengthy email. So I said, what should I do? I said, okay, thank you. So that is the difference between the Krishna is teaching all of us that we have to continue karma yoga until we dissolve that karma that comes from the Rajoguna. I'm just again linking this. What Krishna is teaching, did you understand? All the karma has an element of all the three gunas. The Rajoguna is dominant. So check that. Rajoguna has an element of that will create a bondage. Because you are trying to secure and imagine pleasure which is not there in the world of objects. So now it creates a delusion. And I continue to do the karma. I miss the karma yoga. So the Master Krishna is teaching us that please continue karma yoga. The way the Arjuna has forgotten from the 3rd chapter, the 4th, and now he is in the 5th chapter, we also forget. At least one thing is sure, that Arjuna is in present of a originator of the Eastern wisdom, who is Krishna. Krishna and the Shiva are known as the originators. At least they have the highest wisdom. No teacher can match. So it means what Krishna is teaching, I have to emphasize I have to translate that into my life. That is very important to understand. What Krishna is saying, I should not have a pinch of doubt. No, what Krishna is saying, I have to translate this into my daily life. So Krishna is teaching all of us, continue the karma yoga. Why? I can simply say to dissolve the karma that comes from the Rajoguna. Initially I said Rajoguna means all actions done for pleasure. And now I am using the same phrase in a different way. Krishna is teaching, so when we drop karma, bondage will come to an end. Can we discover happiness without the doership? Answer is yes. How come? Karma Yoga now moves to the Karma Sannyasa. That is the summary of the 5th chapter. You see, I'm trying to make it simple as possible. So when we dissolve the karma caused, triggered by the Rajoguna, it means we drop the karma. When I drop the karma, the doership is gone. Doership is gone, so attachment and detachment is gone. Bondage is gone, and I enter into the all-pervading consciousness. What a beautiful way, the way Krishna. Can we discover happiness without the doership? Karma Yoga moves to Karma Sannyasa. Means Karma Sannyasa means that I am in the state of non-doership. And in that non-doership, the mind is purified state. And that purified state of the mind is already reflecting the happiness. I need not to worry about it. It is already reflecting the consciousness. Oh, can I give you a metaphor? The curtain is there. Now curtain is already raised up. The sun which was already there, now the sun has entered into my room. So I need not to worry about that happiness or peace. It is the essential nature of the real self. So why I said so, I'm removing the doubt. I'm removing the delusion. I'm removing the ignorance. I'm removing the impurity of what? What? Rajoguna says, without the doership, you cannot be happy. That is the big delusion. That I cannot be happy. I have to do something in order to secure happiness. Are you getting it? I'm summarizing in a different way.
Even in myself and everything. Like now it's like constantly I see it.
Wow. So Krishna is sending such a subtle message. Why you think that by doing one karma you will be happy? Because if I have a desire to do particular karma, then I am a doer. And I entered again into the karma yoga. The Rajoguna is dominating. And it will cause the impurity of the mind. So the Krishna is saying that is the way you move from the karma yoga to karma sannyasa. That is the whole chapter of chapter 5. But as a good seeker, we never lose sight. We keep doing the karma yoga daily, 24/7 in our personal, professional, social and family life. Why? I'm trying to use the modern word, checks and balances of the mind. I have to, only by doing the karma yoga, I have the checks and balances. If I'm not doing, I may fall into tamoguna.
Yeah, you could have an ego around it.
Yes, ego around it. That is another. Oh, what a beautiful way our Lord Krishna, chapter 5 acts as a bridge between the path of action, karma yoga, and the yoga of meditation. Meditation means non-doership. A revelation takes place. The path of action, karma yoga. So, karma yoga leads me to a higher level of mental maturity. higher level of mental maturity. Why I say so? Seventh verse, samadama, titiksha uparati, checks and balances. So you have a higher level of mental maturity. You are continue to live in that state of the karma yoga, and suddenly you find you have jumped into the karma sannyasa. That was the insight you wrote to me. It comes, it goes, it comes, it goes, and then it becomes so steady. It becomes steady. Why it comes and goes? Because still we have to purify the mind. We still have many, many impressions. Vasanas.
Even as I knew it would be gone soon. But I thought, oh, it's happening now. I want to say something.
Do you remember Vasana? All that step, the Vasana, first, perception, second, that perception creates sankalpa and vikalpa. Do you remember the words? Sankalpa and the vikalpa. And sankalpa and vikalpa creates an imagined thought of a pleasure or avoiding. That thought repeats itself, attachment and detachment, attachment and detachment. Now I'm thinking repeated about an object in the world. So my desire, I have a desire. If I have a desire, then I have a desirer also. And that desirer is a doer. That desire is a doer, but the desire follows a course of 6 enemies that results into the impurity of the mind. Impurity of the mind results into the impure states of the mind. And then I say I am into anxiety, I have a strong like and dislike, I have to fight with this guy, or in this situation I'm struggling very hard, and all those crazy stuff enters. I have fallen down. That is so, but again, in summary, it is the Rajoguna. Rajoguna is prompting me in one-liner. That is a one-liner. I have just explained in detail, but that is in the beginning, I just explained the one-liner. So that is how we have to link and associate these simple and easy concepts together. Oh, so I have a thought and I forgot. So what was the thought? Okay, look, also I was attached to that thought. So attachment, detachment, from where it has come? Oh, from the sankalpa and vikalpa. From where the sankalpa vikalpa has come? Oh, it has come from the vasana. What is the vasana? The storehouse of the impressions. Oh my goodness. We are purifying that vasana. That is known as, we are purifying that impurity of the mind. We are not trying to manage our anger or hesitation, because it depends on that vasana. If vasana is gone, I need not to manage my anger. I need not to manage my strong likes and dislikes. It is already gone. So now you see, perhaps I might have discussed. So we are purifying the mind means I'm emptying the mind from those vasanas which are still present. Oh, yes, which are still present. And that is why I need to continue 24/7 until I die. I should die in karma yoga. Outside, I have to do karma yoga. But inner state is karma sannyasa. I am in the 24/7 meditative state. But still I am performing the karma yoga outside. Why? I am living a personal life, professional life, social life, family. So what is happening? It continues to purify the mind, or it keeps the purified state of the mind. That purified state of the mind continues to reveal that my real nature. I am only centered, formally centered in the meditation. It is like a bridge connecting the two shores. One shore is doership, other shore is the non-doership. Think like this. In between there is a karma yoga. So if I have a karma, then I have a karma yoga. Two shores. One is the doership, the other is the non-doership. So with the purification of the mind, as we progress into the purification of the mind, the life changes. There is a qualitative change in life. The quantity cannot bring the happiness. We have, I don't know, here it is different. I remember there are Bollywood. Are you aware of the Bollywood? Right. So we have, maybe you can say that 10 or 15 stars, man and women stars, actors and actresses, whose worth is almost more than $500 million in India. Now they have bouncers protecting them. They have 5 bouncers protecting them. They have 50 cars. That is what the American pattern, Most of these luxuries are copied from US to all the countries. I have a strong belief in that. To live in US is a big challenge. It's a big challenge. Is a big challenge. So now I started thinking, I said, if this guy gets a heart attack, how many bouncers can save his life? Nothing at all. If he has some severe illnesses, no bouncers, no money, no quantity, number of cars cannot save him. So we are running after the quantitative life. We are not looking for a qualitative life. The quantitative life, the person whose life depends on quantity is doing the karma, and who is looking for a qualitative life, he is doing karma yoga. Let me redefine it that way so that it makes a sense. It makes a sense. So you see that? That is the beauty of our law. That is why he is known as that. He never, the way he explains, he's the Lord of the knowledge. So we equate him as a god, as a reincarnation. The guy who has such a subtle perception and beauty of explaining the things, no one has that. Yes, Shiva is another guy. Shiva is also another guy. So Lord Krishna focuses on the pragmatic approach, very pragmatic, practical approach. Are you doing karma or you are doing karma yoga? Maintain your awareness. Simple. If I make it in a more easy way, am I doing karma at this time when I'm talking to you, or I'm doing karma yoga? So all those principles returns, and it makes you aware, I'm doing karma yoga. Finished. No vasana. Vasana, you don't have a right to come here. Why? The vasana will make me doer. It has a series. Conception is the vasana, then perception, then sensation, then sankalpa and the vikalpa, and then the thought of imagined pleasure. Repeated thought is attachment, and then ultimately desire. Oh, desire. Who desires? There has to be a desire. That is what the Rajoguna has done secretly to me, and that is the sign of ignorance. Mind is free from them. If the mind is free from them, you are in a state of karma. What it takes you to make the mind free, just think opposite, not fight. I'm not the doer. So from there you begin the journey. Desire, desirer, the doer is there. I'm not the doer.
Well, that's why I've been focused on that a lot, because I can see that's a pivotal. Like if you can turn that little lock, that changes everything.
Changes everything. That is why I thought when you shared your experiences today and in the email, and I said I will strengthen that wisdom and that wisdom in you. So now you see the seventh verse. I just said sama dhamma uparati diksha. So now whenever you are in that state and you miss the state, oh, what happened to me? Now I'm lost. Now let us go to sama. Withdrawal of the mind, paying attention inside means what? Means what? Simply means that I'm not paying any attention to any object, person, thing, situation, condition of the world. That is the meaning of paying attention in what? No. This light is good. No. Everything is okay. Everything is good. Wall is good. House is good. No. Honey, okay. No. Don't allow the mind to stay even for a second. That means the mind is already turning inward. That is sama. Another definition of the sama. And so the dhamma, mind what you're looking. I'm looking at the wall and the watch. Mind, keep looking at it, but don't create any thought pertaining to that object. Now see what happens. Now I prevent the mind to follow its journey from the vasana to the attachment and detachment. That is dhamma.
So Pete and I like to philosophize, and last night I told her, imagine there was no words, right? So you couldn't describe anything with words. What would the world look like? Would it be a bunch of things?
Yeah.
And she said, no, wouldn't it kind of just be all one thing? And I said, just think about it.
Think about it. Yeah.
But I thought,
it
was funny because it occurred to her like right away, but I thought, yeah, words, if we can free the mind of words, we can really...
There is no teacher, then there is no seeker. Then what is left? Why the hell we both are together? It is the transmission of the knowledge. Consciousness is only one consciousness which is manifesting and expressing itself. That removes the ignorance from the mind. We both are settled. There is no both. There is only one consciousness. So that is why the seventh verse, at a very primary and at a very softer and gentle level, it says, Vishuddhatma, purify the mind, purify the mind. Means the sama. Then he said, conquer the sense organs, motor organs. So he has given the three. And then what happens? You enter into the highest karma yoga. Highest karma yoga means what? Highest karma yoga means what? It is karma sannyasa. Again, you have to understand. I will give you a metaphor to understand it. It has come to my mind. There is a water at a 0 degree. And water, the same water at 100 degrees. It is the water. So we say, no, it is very hot, and we say it is very cold. We have created a duality. The fact is that it is not a duality. Water is water. It has changed the name and the form. Yeah. Do you see that?
One of my favorite Krishna analogies or metaphors. Remember he talks about the big lake, and the Muslim on one side calls it Jal, and one calls it water, and the other one calls it this. He says it's all water.
It's all water.
From the same lake, but we're calling it different things.
From the same lake. So our mind in ignorance creates the duality, the false perception of the name in the form is ice and the name in the form is vapor. But fact is that it is still the water. It is still. I'm not the doer. I'm not the doer. The fifth 5.8 and 5.9. I'm not the doer means I'm not the seer. I'm not. My master used to give, I think I have told you many a times, my master used to say, here is a donkey. So we don't use the word ass, but we use the word donkey. So this is donkey. Are you clear? Yes. So I'm not the donkey. Yes, I'm clear. So whatever you know as an object cannot be you. So my master used to say, meditate on this. I don't give you any mantra. You don't need any mantra. Now it is the time to meditate on this. Every time you see an object, a sensation, and the feeling and emotions and the thoughts and objects, it is not you. It is separate from you. You are the knower, only one knower of all of them. You are a knower. I'm adding more. You are a knower, you are not a doer. You have a false perception of being a doer because that I thought that ego identifies with the body, mind, sense organs, actions, experiences, and as a summary, I thought comes and which says, come on, you are a doer. And then doer has to do the karma yoga. Go back. Why karma yoga? Rajoguna. Why Rajoguna? Another definition of Rajoguna. Rajoguna is dominant when it is perceiving, imagine, pleasure and pain in the world outside. Defined like this. But I have seen the imagine pleasure and pain in the world outside. It means I have to make an effort to achieve that. That is what you have to analyze this. So in other way also, you have many definitions of the Rajoguna. I don't see the Rajoguna, but I can see the effect of Rajoguna. And that effect is due to the karma. I have to translate that into the karma yoga. I'm not the doer. I'm the knower only. I'm not the doer. I'm only the knower. That knower means knowledge. What is the most dearest, closest attribute of the real self? Knowledge. Real self is of the nature of knowledge. Oh, so I'm already there. Yes. The one who offers all actions to the Lord, abandoning attachment, is not tainted by the sin. So now the master comes. It is the Rajoguna. That, what is the definition? Another definition of Rajoguna. Rajoguna creates many sins and virtues. You follow the right path and still you are engaged in the karma. You are accumulating the virtues or merit. You are doing the things wrongly against the ethical and morality. Then you are accumulating the sin, but it is caused by the attachment. So another definition of Rajoguna, by Rajoguna, we accumulate merit and demerits. What does it mean by merit and demerit? Check it that you are related, you have $1 million in your hand. You lost $1 million. What is your feeling and sensation? That feeling and sensation is a definition of the karma, not karma yoga. Because, I feel elated. I got the imagined pleasure. I lost the imagined pleasure. That is what the attachment is. And I gave you another definition of attachment. I plus I desire. I plus. But that I desire is different from I. But now find out, what is this I? I is the doer or the knower? I'm not the doer. It's the knower. I'm done with it. I'm free. When? Here and now. From what? From all the sins. Especially all the sins of that particular action. But I have to...
Right. Well, I was going to ask if you said accumulating merits and sins, right? But then I say, well, who's accumulating them? Not the self, not the I, right?
Yeah.
That's impossible. It's interesting how many. So I can see the confusion in when you're at certain. There's such a contradiction, but then it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. You see that karma sannyasa means that I reach to a state of non-doership. How you can reach to the state of non-doership? Now see the paradox logic. By doing karma yoga. So that needs to be understood. How you can get rid of all the karma by doing karma yoga? What you're talking? That is the principle. If I don't perform karma yoga, I cannot reach to the karma sannyas. What a beauty! Once you understand this, and you say, "Oh, this is the paradox logic." And once you reach to once you have already understood sins and virtues, when there is no doership, forget about merit and demerits. No, but I want to explore further. And then you come to explore and see action is performed by body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego that comprises of 5 elements and the 3 gunas. There is a permutation and combination of the 5 elements and the 3 gunas, and that is where the change takes place. The change, another name of the change is the action. That is the 11th verse. Performing action with the body, mind, intellect are the instruments, not the doer. Body is not the conscious entity. Well, how to prove that body is not a conscious entity? I can move my hand. Okay, I see my left hand. But can the left hand also say that I see you? No. It's not a conscious entity. It's purely a matter. It's matter. Energy, it's a matter. Breathing is matter. Mind is matter. Intellect is matter. Ego is matter. No, you see the mental maturity. This is called that we are moving from one verse to the another, and that results into a kind of mental maturity. I was engaged in lot of stress and performing this action. I did this wrong action. I did this right action. Oh, I could not achieve this, and I did achieve this. All those, they are basically the sins. Anything, any thought, feeling, and emotion that disturbs me, creates an unfavorable situation is a sin. Don't start defining the sin according to Christianity. Then you have to go to a priest to confess your sin. Here the sin is released. Here the sin is released. But again, I would say, they have a wrong interpretation. What Jesus said is totally different. He said love is God. So in that abundance of the love, there is neither sin nor merit, and no demerit. Love thyself. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself. So when I am in the moment of that love, I recognize that love is my essential nature. So the question of merit and demerit, I don't know from where that idea of confessing the sin has come. Now see, the result of an action in the 12th verse, Master makes us aware. He says, can you recognize? Now do you understand? Now, what is your experience? The result of karma and the result of karma yoga. So he defines in a different way. He says the result of an action with or without attachment. He picks up one word. The same thing. Result of an action with an idea of being a doer, or result of an action without being a doer. So I'm not a doer. Who cares about the result? And whatever the result comes, I accept it because I'm doing something. The result is bound to come. Action and the reaction should have to take place. I'm driving a car to my home, so I have to reach the home. But the doership is not there. Attachment is not there. So he makes a very clear distinction. You are performing action with attachment or without attachment. You can add here action with ego or without ego, action with the doer or without doership, action with the vasana or without vasana, action of being a consumer or being a contributor. Come on, I can give you a lot of ways to think. Action with or without. It just came to my mind. With or without. You are a consumer. No, I'm not a consumer. I'm a contributor. Okay. With or without attachment. Yes. Okay. With attachment or aversion. With or without attachment or aversion. Do you see that? With or without ego? Ego or with or without ego? Now you see all those thoughts pops up in your mind and instantly your mind is liberated. You have that sense of mental maturity, and mental maturity means now intellect is free to settle into the knowledge that you have learned. Now the intellectual paralysis is not there. So RSM syndrome, go back in the very first chapter, we talked about. Now the intellect is not paralyzed. Every principle is related. Oh, intellect is now not paralyzed. Yes, intellect is shining with the wisdom. What do you mean? That is what the Eastern wisdom is. That is what the Eastern wisdom is. So in the verse number 13, the master says, embodied self in the action. Now he goes very deep. Very deep. But again, because of the mental maturity, we can understand this, what he says. There is a knower and the known. That is, initially we started with this. Now he goes very deep and he says, there is an embodied one. Embodied one means what? There is an embodied one means that is the real self. And that what embodies? The body embodies. So how the body embodies? By the 9 gates. So that is where the 9 gates comes. So it means manifestation of that consciousness through the body and the mind complex deludes me that I am the doer. But I have already understood body, breath, mind, intellect, sense organ, motor organs. They cannot be the doer, so hence I am not the doer. And that is the mode of the karma yoga. So here he has brought us very close. So every time you look at it, there is a wall. Yes, wall is there. How do I know the wall? Count the factors: eyes, past memories, mind, language, memory, ego. So how dare you say that I know the wall? There is no eye. It is the one pair of the eyes is there, memory in the mind, memory bank is there, language that I learned from outside. I'm not there. I'm not there means that ego is not there when still. So can I perceive still without any thought? And yes, I can perceive the world. Perception is there. But that perception minus projection is there. I'm using the word another way to make you understand. Oh, perception minus projection is there. So if there is no projection, then what is left? Is the pure consciousness. Embodied self in the action. That is what the 13th verse and the 14th, supreme self in the individual action. The Supreme Lord does not create agency or action for the world, nor does He connect actions with their results. It is the nature is doing everything. We discussed about the 6 different aspects of the action. So here the 6 different aspects of the action. God has nothing to do with the action. God lives into that supreme consciousness. Don't worry about it. He lives into that ship. He has nothing. Why he has to be a judge? Do you see how much stress our Supreme Court judge and the appointed judge, who are facing Trump is facing the trial. So if we can think even the court judges and juries have a lot of stress, then we want to give stress to the so-called the God. God doesn't, he doesn't calculate any sin and virtues, forget about it. Do karma yoga, remain as a non-doer, you are not neither a sinner, you don't accumulate merit and demerit. Done.
As I was experiencing last night, it's more like a cause and effect sort of momentum that creates this like moving world, right? Yeah. And then the outcomes are just a combination of all these things. How could you possibly think that you did something? To imagine that like I made something happen is absurd.
No, you see, I have $1 million. Okay, I possess. I'm a millionaire. Does that dollar belongs to me at the time of the birth? It is a part of the world. It will go back to the world. Now see, until the 14th verse, the master has explained in a different way from the gross to the subtle to the subtlest, but why he has explained. So the verse number 15 to 21 is a state of karma sannyasa. That is why he wants us to. That is why he has taken us for a journey until the verse number 14. The verse number 15 to 21, mostly I would say yes, and better you write it down. It is all about the karma sannyasa. What is that karma sannyasa? I have the highest level of mental maturity. There is no chance of intellectual paralysis. I am able to maintain that awareness of a non-doership, and things are happening on their own. I am happy, contented, peaceful, harmonized. Am I not doing? Am I not living my personal, professional? No, I'm living personal, professional, social life. But inner state is totally different. Now, from that perspective, if you go to the 15th verse, the 15th verse says, all pervading divine. Here is the real self or the supreme consciousness neither accepts anyone's sins nor merit. Knowledge is covered by ignorance, hence beings are deluded. The moment you say that you are a sinner, you have a layer of ignorance. But one thing comes, I am questioning and then I will answer. Okay, you say this, I agree with you. The seeker says that I agree with you, that there is no merit and demerits. Then let me commit a murder and come back, and then I say that there is no merit and no, then there is a big demerit. You have already committed a sin. Your ego is distorting the principle. So don't try to fool ourselves. So we try to fool ourselves by committing a mistake and we say, no, there is no sin. No, that sin will definitely be there. You need to exhaust it. You need to purify the mind.
So, I think somebody I was reading said, don't try to fool Paramatma.
Yeah.
It'll be the cause of early death or something like that.
Yeah. Because now action has a reaction. So whatever the action that I have that is performed by this body, mind, intellect, and the ego, I have the corresponding reaction. It has nothing to do with the God. But now instead, I'm doing a karma yoga. So there is a corresponding reaction. And that corresponding reaction, you remember you told me what do you mean by prasad. So that corresponding reaction is prasad in karma yoga, and in karma you have a sin. So simply taking literally the meaning of this verse will not help us to understand. The all-pervading supreme consciousness neither accepts anyone's sin nor merit. So we say if the God doesn't accept the sin, then okay, let me commit this sin and I'll go back to, no, it will not work. That is the wrong approach. So it means you are already talking in delusion. You are talking from the doership point of view. First you become a non-doer, you are not a doer, and then talk to me. So then another message here, that is another beauty of it. The consciousness or the real self is impartial, doesn't accept anyone's sin. This is the message. The message is that as far as from the standpoint of real self and the supreme consciousness or the God is impartial. He has nothing to do with your sin and merit. It is only because of the ignorance you feel that you have committed sin. It is only because of the ignorance you feel that you have committed good work and you earned the merit. Because of you. You. Who is the you? There is a sense of doership is left. There is a sense of doership is left. Okay, so now you see that Lord Krishna is asking, do you experience this? Do you have those thoughts coming to your mind and you instantly correct yourself? Yes, you are moving to karma sannyasa. That is the that is the meaning of the 15th verse. Look at the teaching of this master. Oh, what a beautiful way he teaches. That is the cause of any. And the Lord says you can convert into different steps. The Lord does not create action, or the sense of doership is not there even in the God or the Supreme Consciousness. Otherwise, he cannot be the Supreme Consciousness. Otherwise, that entity cannot be the God. Because if I'm doing something, I'm a doer. So I'm a doer, then it means what? I'm subject to change. Real self is all pervading, never changing entity. So it means it is because of the ego and the doership we say. So that is the first step we can extract from this verse. Second step, the Lord is not the cause of any action or the cause of enjoyment. First, it does not create any action or sense of doership. That is the message from the 15th verse. Second message is that the Supreme Consciousness is not the cause of any action or the cause of enjoyment. Why? You go to the sugar and say that, can you become sweet so that I can taste you? It is already sweet. Salt is already salty. So don't tell me. By performing some action, the sugar becomes sweet. It is by nature. Inherent nature is sweetness. My inherent nature is happiness. That is the message. Third, you can say the third is, uh, yes, third message that the Supreme Consciousness does not produce the fruit of an action. What is the fourth one? You can also create the fourth message. Instead, it is the individual nature. I have become an individual, I have become a doer, I have become an ego that determines and participates in all aspects of action, and that accumulates merit and demerit. I become an individual. Individual, how I become an individual? 5 elements plus 3 gunas plus mind, intellect, and the ego. Altogether an individual entity which is separate and different from the world outside. That is why when I think that something is separate and different from me, then only I will have an imagined pleasure. Then only I will start running after it. This is the message Master is giving. Oh. Now what? And the last step of the message, you can think of it. Oh, that is why the what the master wants to conclude. Krishna says that I remain detached witness, identifying with the unchanging self. I am already absorbed into the self. The space, the way the space is, cannot be polluted, cannot be colored, even if you have a rainbow in the sky, the space remains the same. Oh, that real self remains the same. So that is the message you want to give, Krishna? Yes, that is the message you want to give. So you see, that is the message of the 15th verse. And then you can go also into a detail. Karma, 6 steps that I discussed. The karma, one is the action itself. So action is not produced, consciousness, real self cannot produce any action beyond that action. Now, doership. Action is different and doership is different. I believe you understand. I am speaking. So speaking is an action, but I am, that is the doership. So these are the 2 elements. The third element is the fruit of an action. So performing an action, there will be a reaction. So that is the fruit of an action. So there is no anticipation of the real self. By performing a particular action, I will have an imagined pleasure. Why? Because I am already of the nature of happiness. So there is neither a doership and nor the enjoyership. So there is no fruit of an action. I don't have an anticipation. That is the third step, third point. And the fourth point, there is no enjoyership. Oh, when food will come on my table, then I will enjoy. No, there is no enjoyership also. That is the fourth one. And the fifth one, the cause of an act. Real self is not the cause of an act, cause of an action. Why? Cause of an action is the 3 gunas. Body, mind, intellect, and ego, and 5 elements. Real self is beyond that cause of an action. And then cause of enjoyment is also not there. These are the 6 aspects, and these 6 aspects takes us to a state of karma sannyasa. So I explained in 2 different ways. Think of this. 2 different ways. And then we will start our next session with verse number 16, 17, and 21. So now it takes some time. It takes time, but the more, because I was so happy that you heard it 3 times, and that led you to a contemplative mind, which purified you had a mental maturity. It uncovered the paralysis on the intellect, and then you had the insight. So that is what every master says, that we need to, after listening, we need to contemplate and reflect again and again and again and again to reach to that point of. So we will pick up verse number from Karma Sannyasa, uh, verse number 16. We'll
right. Saturday?
Saturday, no, perhaps Saturday, I don't know, but there is a
Event, right?
yeah, there is an event, yes.
Well, it's probably good. I'm moving houses this weekend, so probably be busy anyways. Moving, so